right foot. Oh, what a ball! The back header for Lorimer. Good goal! Peter Lorimer. And then played a great ball into Dallas. Dallas in space. Stuart Dallas scores for Leeds United. What a move that is!
Good evening and welcome to Matchday Live, where the team are in Stoke, but we are in the warm, comfy studio here at Ellen Road. And you can join us for tonight's game in selected territories. Just scan the QR code that you can see on screen. That'll tell you whether or not you can watch tonight's game with us. If you can buy a Matchday pass and join us for it. There's also a WhatsApp number on the screen. Please use that to send in your score predictions, questions, pictures, whatever it may be. Now, the team managed to make it 3 wins on the spin at the weekend as they came from 2-0 down against Norwich to beat them 3-2. But can they make it 4 in a row in a cold, rainy night in Stoke? That is the question. With us to find out, we have a Leeds United legend who actually helped the opposition get promoted, but we're only going to whisper that tonight, aren't we, Tom?
We are indeed, yes.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You liking the new studio?
Lovely, isn't it, eh?
It's very nice.
I know, upgrade.
Just for you, that, Dom.
Thank you.
Look, let's talk about that win against Norwich, because that was so full of character, wasn't it?
Certainly was. 2-0 down, all the players turned up again in the second half. First half, not so great, but again, I think the manager got it so right. You know, he's obviously had a word, and I think that half-time chat is the most important for me. I've always said that. Some of the great managers have always said that. That is so important at half-time, to make sure you stay in the game, give yourself a chance, and we certainly did that. And we can see here, just, you know, going down early again, it just shows you the character that some of these players have. And I doubted that at some points, but I think now the manager's becoming a group. They're all together, which is so important for the team. We've
actually seen on quite a few occasions so far this season, haven't we, Dom, that you know, they've gone into the break at least a goal down, and then at half time they've managed to score relatively early. So whatever Daniel Farke is saying at half time is clearly working.
Certainly is, and I think that we can all see that when we're at Ellen Road, you know, home and away, that there is improvements all the time with this manager and the players, because it takes a little while to get all your points across. I believe that, and I think slowly but surely they're all understanding what he wants and tactically what they want, and he will make changes when he needs to. And it's important that you do that, and I think in the Championship it's such a tough league that everyone's going to have to play their part.
And he's recognising their strengths as well, and positionally, you know, what he can do with them. There's this very much a mutual respect between him and the players, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think, no respect to the other managers who've been involved with the club recently, I just think we've got the better one now. No, I don't mean that rude to the other managers. They've all had a go. But I just think the manager we have now just speaks a lot more sense. He's more clarity with the players, and I think that's so important. And I think he seems to have a really good relationship with the players. And you can see that win, that goal there was just outstanding, wasn't it? I mean, Somerville is one of those players I've always thought he's got talent, and he's really showcasing it now. That was a brilliant finish, absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, he's fully coming into his own, isn't he? And in terms of that game against Norwich, tactically he made the right call, didn't he? I mean, we had towards the end of the game 5-6 attackers on the pitch.
Yeah.
But Daniel Farke knew exactly what he was doing, didn't he?
Yeah, like you say, that's experience again from knowing the league, being there, seeing it and done it. And just, I think when you've got a manager who can understand that and get his points across to the players at half time, which we've seen, it was so apparent, the change in the second half was incredible. But I think it's a bit of a gift, that as a manager, because he understands all the players, and I bet his relationship with them players is as good as it's been for a long time with the club. And that again is crucial for everybody to be on that same page day in, day out. Whether you're playing or not, training levels will still be at the same level, and that's the key. I know myself, being at Leeds United, when the levels drop, you need somebody within the group, and if it's not the coach or the manager, the other players have to lead. Absolutely. And I think we've got players who can do that now.
And we heard Crescencio Somerville say in his post-match interview, actually, that at half-time Daniel Farke had said to them, basically, if you don't score, the opposition are going to. And that is so simple, but evidently very effective, isn't it? And sometimes, Dom, is it the simple messages that work the best?
For me, but yeah, definitely. You know, not too many brain cells in my head, but I believe that is so true. Them little. When you've got a coach who's just giving you simple things to go and do, like put the ball in the back of the net. It's not as simple as that, but they're listening to him. And
Absolutely.
when you've got the managers like saying those things and you're listening, it makes such a difference.
Well, we can see the teams arriving over there in Stoke now. What are you expecting from this Stoke side? Because we will hear from Daniel Farke shortly, but we know that he has said, you know, that where you see them in the table doesn't necessarily equate to their performances, especially not now they've got multiple players back from injury.
Yeah, I think with Stoke, they've had some tough games over the last few weeks, and obviously they won the last game, a 2-1 win. But before that, lost the two before that as well. So it's a difficult thing. Like you say, I think in the Championship, I think they're sitting, is it 20th at the minute? Which, you know, for Stoke City, no disrespect, obviously having been a player there and captained the club myself, I know how passionate that club is, and the fan base is quite noisy as well. It's a little bit it's nowhere near as good as Leeds, obviously, but they've got a passionate set of fans and they'll be up for it. So they bring a bit to the table as well. But with the team they've got out tonight, I think it's another great opportunity for us and go and get something. Because when you've got 3 wins on the bounce, don't be arrogant. Go in there with the confidence and the belief that you can win the game. And I think if we start well, I know we've said this before, I think if we do start well and we get an early goal, that's what we need, because that's what we've not been in the last game, obviously having to come back. It's difficult, but we find the character and we did do that. But I'd like us just to be a bit more on the front foot and making maybe us score the first goal and make things a little bit easier for us.
There is an element of, though, what Daniel Farke said rings true, that we've seen with a few teams that we've faced this season who have been on a bad run of form, and then because of that hunger and desire, they've actually beaten us. Yeah,
and I'm sure Alex Neil will be the same. He'll be saying, you know, they won the last game, we've won our last 3, but they've obviously had a few defeats as well, especially for any club at home. I know Stoke, and obviously I know Leeds, but I know Leeds a lot better. And the one thing, what the Stoke people want, they want that someone putting hard tackles in. And in a way, not like it's hard what we used to do at Leeds, but they do like a tackle in Stoke, and the fans, they thrive off that. They do like it, and they like a nice physical game. And when I played, it was really a tight pitch. I don't know if it's the dimensions are any different now, but it was really tight, so we could get around each other and kind of get tight and make our challenges. But again, Alex Neil will have a plan to play against us, because he'll see the quality that we have, and we have got a lot of that in abundance, in my opinion. So they'll have a game plan, and it's just how they execute theirs and we execute ours. Let's make sure ours is better.
Absolutely. And speaking of that quality, let's talk team news. We know that Daniel Farke has made 3 changes from the game against Norwich, one of those being that Gruev comes in for Kamara in that midfield position. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, Gruev, we've not seen much of him, have we? We've seen him off the bench in a few fleeting appearances. He looks like he's got a bit, but I think it's the rotation. The manager knows what he's doing, and he's making sure that everyone gets game time. And it's important you do that. And you know, after a couple of games, we've had 3 wins. I think it's the right time to freshen things up in certain areas, especially in the midfield area. People put the hard yards, in my opinion, in their midfield areas. and I think it's another opportunity for him to stake his claim for a place in the team.
Okay, we'll discuss the rest of the team news very shortly, but first let's head over to Stoke for the first time this evening, shall we, and join our commentary team of Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
Well, guess what? It's a cold Wednesday night in Stoke, and a big challenge lies ahead of Leeds United as they look to continue the winning run with another away trip. Tony, this is a place that has that atmosphere around it and that reputation as well. Can this Leeds side do what needs to be done here tonight?
It's going to be difficult. I think what we're going to find is a very physical side. They'll be in our faces. They won their previous game as well, so they'll be at home wanting to beat what is a Leeds United side coming in great form. Can we do it? Yes, I think we can. I think we've got that confidence, that swagger about us, and the way we came back against Norwich, it really does bode well.
It's been a busy week. There's another early kick-off to come at the weekend, so changes have been made to the side. 3 in all. Can you see the logic in that?
We've talked before about the strength of our bench, and think it has to be used that way. So the wingers, they're having a rest, James and Somerville, and in come Anthony, of course, and Gnonto. So that's the obvious choice. Kamara in midfield is one getting a rest, and Gruev plays for the first time. Looking forward to seeing how he plays. Archie still is there and playing well. I wonder when he will get a rest, but it's important we rotate a little bit at the right time.
In terms of the way the game goes, conceding is been Leeds' problem thus far this season, hasn't it? Scoring goals hasn't. So is that the key tonight?
It'd be nice to actually take the lead and then thump someone. and I think one day we will do that. Whether it's here or not, I'm not so sure. But rather than showing how good we are, making changes and coming back strong, let's get a grip of the game, score a goal, keep it tight at the back, and win ugly 1-0. That'd be nice.
That would indeed be nice. Doesn't matter how it comes. 3 points, the only order of the day here.
Look, we heard Tony say that, it'd be nice to thump someone. But actually, from a confidence point of view and a psychological boost point of view, surely that win against Norwich, the nature of it will have almost, well, you can tell me, you played the game. Will that boost them more than it would have been if it was just a straightforward 2-0 win?
Yeah, definitely. I think when you come from behind and you win the way we won, I think it's important. I think, if you can't get confidence out of that, you shouldn't be playing football. Simple as that. Yeah. But you've got to be wary of what their reaction will. They'll have seen that as well, and they'll have done their homework on us as well, just like they'll have done on us. It's just the way football works. It's I think it's just important that we set our stall out better. As Tony mentioned, we don't want to be giving goals away against Stoke and making it hard for ourselves. Try and get on the front foot. Try and score first, and then try and make it a little bit easier for us. No game's easy, I don't mean it like that, but I just think sometimes simplify it, make the right decisions at the right moments, and then that's how I think that our forward players will get into the game and make things happen. But it's all about how we start, and if we set our stall out properly, I think we've got the quality in the final third that can win the game. What
kind of game do you think Stoke will be expecting from us, Dom?
Well, they'll have seen the quality we have in the final third, and then certainly as well in the midfield areas. I know we've made a change, but Ampadu is being key for us. So I think they'll look at that and they'll try and make him work harder, because I think at times, because of his quality and his positional sense is so good, Ampadu, that they'll have to try and rough him up a little bit, because the ball seems to come into him and he seems to have time, and he won't want that, Alex Neil. He'll want people to get right in the faces. So it's how we adapt to that, and you've got to be up for the fight, especially at places like Stoke, and make sure you're up for a battle, and that's so important, especially away from home. Every game's a battle, and once you've won them personal battles, then we go and play our football, then we go on and win the game.
And it's also these kind of games where obviously we've said 3 changes from the game against Norwich, but actually when you look at the bench as well, the strength and depth on the bench, we know we can see so much quality that we can bring on and that can make an impact straight away.
And I think that's the difference from us to a lot of other clubs, that we have got that quality when we want to make changes. And I think we've not had that for quite a long time, and I think now, because we can make a change, it's great, to be honest. If we're struggling, we bring 2 or 3 players on who can all impact and make a difference. I mean, some of it on the bench, wow, he's been absolutely outstanding, as we've talked about him earlier. But there's so many others, Gnonto coming back into the team. Wow, another player. that can make things happen, and he'll be desperate to go out there and get a goal and make things happen, because he'll know himself to get in this Leeds team now, you have to be playing well.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what we want. As a player, competition was everything. If someone's playing in my position, whether that happened or not, I can't remember, but if they did play in my position, you always want to get in that team. If you're not playing, it's horrible. So you've got to work it out, get yourself back in the team. And all these players will be thinking, I've got to start doing well week in, week out, and be consistent, because this manager's not scared of changing things up.
He's absolutely not. Well, speaking of this manager, let's hear from him, shall we? Daniel Farke spoke to the media ahead of tonight's game.
I'm very, very respectful, because Alex is an unbelievable, experienced coach in English football, and especially also on championship level. And I like personalities. I like coaches and managers where you can see the handwriting, and you can always see his handwriting in the team. So his teams always play with intensity, with aggression, with bravery. They go for it. Many crosses. You have to defend really well. You have to defend really well the second ball. So they play with lots of fighting spirit, and quite often with the teeth, with a knife between the teeth. So this is what you expect when you play his sides. And there's also meanwhile also some of his former players from Preston, for example, at Stoke, and you can see his handwriting. And one of his biggest skills is also that when there is a bit pressure, then it's more like he's standing strong and gives his team always confidence, and then his team goes and tries to fight all together. And this is what they did against a really good side, against Sunderland. This was the reason why they were there. It was a really good win and important win. And we know it will be a tough task. I don't want to use this old English quote about Stoke. I'm very aware, but especially since Alex is working there, I think this is even more the case. So we have to be fully switched on in order to be to be ready to fight for the points as well. I expect them to finish in a much better position than they are at the moment. So I think it was just a start at the weekend. Obviously, we want to make sure that they have to wait for back-to-back wins and for a little run, even a bit longer. But I'm quite sure that under Alex's leadership, they will finish in a much better position. And for that, we are very, very respectful. We don't travel in fear, so we also know that we're in a good shape and want to win the points, but we have to be at our best in order to give ourselves a chance to win the points. If I'm honest, I don't pay too much attention at the moment to the league table. If you're in position 3, 4, 5, whatever. Obviously, I like much more to be in the third position than in the 23rd. That's definitely a fact. But for me, at the moment, it's just important to stabilize the club more and more. And also to create a winning mentality, and also to show good performances, and obviously also to grind out results. And if you do this, then you're automatically in a good position on the table. But for me, it's more important that in many topics we have improved and also stabilized. So we have consistency in our results. We are already there with many clean sheets. We show some really good performances. We create many chances. I like that we are able to bring a tight lead over the finish line in several games. I like that we had many clean sheets. I like that we are capable also to keep the nerves once we are a bit under pressure, like at Norwich. Once we are back, that we are capable to turn the game. This is all a sign of winning mentality. I think there's one topic we want to improve, and this is definitely the efficiency in using our chances, because we create so many big chances. I think there are also some statistics that in a fair and normal table, and a table that is based on performances and on expected goals, it would be even better. So this is definitely one topic. We're not too much concentrate. We want to improve our position on the table, so we are more concentrated on the contents. And what we definitely want and need to improve is the effectiveness in using the chances, because you can't always turn a game like we did at Norwich. Normally the first half and the chances we have created during the first half should be enough in order to score 1, 2, perhaps even 3 goals. And this is definitely a topic we are concentrated on. It's not like we are addicted and praying, come on, let's climb the table. No, we are concentrated on what we can influence and what we what we have to improve, and this is definitely a topic, we need to be a bit better.
He speaks so well, doesn't he? You can ask him one question and he'll talk for 5 minutes and give you all your answers. I love it. What he said there about winning mentality, though, how important is that, particularly in the Championship, when we know the games come so thick and fast, that you maintain that level of momentum and belief?
It's key. It's absolutely key. And I think playing in the Championship myself under certain managers, you have to have that within your squad. You have to have quite a few leaders within your group to have that mentality. And I think quite a lot of the players have that mentality. They've got that winning mentality. They want to win. They don't like losing now, and I love that. And I haven't been saying that for a while, but they don't like to lose. They always find a way to get back in, as we've seen at Norwich. So yeah, that's hugely important. That.
And it's kind of the different ways we've found to win. That is massive, isn't it? You know, it isn't just a case, yes, we've conceded and we'd like to not concede, but we've seen character, and then we've seen us just go and dominate games. We've seen us win in different ways.
We have, and again, that's crucially it's so important as well, because every game isn't nice. Every game can't be 3-0, 2-0, 1-0. Sometimes you have to come from behind, like we did. So it's so important that you've got different strings to your bow as a player and as a team. And I think we have a lot of that at the minute, and players are willing to take a chance as well, which, not defensively, but I'm talking about when they get into that final third, they're going to showcase themselves, and we've seen it on numerous occasions. Lads have got more confidence now, and when you've got that winning mentality, the confidence comes with that. And confidence at any level is so important. Hopefully, long may that continue.
He did talk about the efficiency, though, in front of goal, because like you say, the confidence comes, but we have had a lot of chances that many would say were wasted almost. Why has that been, do you think?
Yeah, I think, well, listen, only the players will know themselves, but I'm sure they're out on that training ground working on it, working on the finishing, taking the chances, and maybe different. I mean, the thing is, as a defender, I used to go out with the lads and watch them do the striking sessions and sometimes get involved. And I tell you what, it's all about hitting the back of the net on a regular basis, whether it's in training, whether it's in matches. Once that starts rolling, it'll start coming. And I believe at some point, somebody will be on the end of a 5 or 6-0. That's the way I think it'll go at some point this season.
But it's not us, is it? To be clear.
Oh no, it won't be us. No, certainly not. Well, let's hope not. I won't be happy if it is.
But look, we know he's mentioned about being more efficient and clinical in front of goal. But in terms of the key battles tonight, where do you see them being, Dom?
I think for it's always the midfield, isn't it? It's that's how football works. Whoever wins them battles in the midfield area usually wins the game. You know, any clubs I've played at, if you win your midfield battles, you win. You've also, in the Championship, you've got to defend properly. And I know goalkeepers are so important nowadays as well, with the distribution, especially the way Leeds play. Distribution is key. So I think the key position for me when it comes to that is the midfield area, and you know, I expect Ampadu to have a big game today, and he's got to lead by example. Because I think at some point, you know, I'm not saying he wants to be a captain, but he feels like at some point he might become a captain.
He's got leadership qualities.
He has got leadership qualities, and I think that's so important. Having captained Leeds myself and Stoke, sometimes you learn from being a captain, and it's not about doing all the fancy stuff well. It's about doing the basics well. I always say it, and people always go on about, you always talk about the basics win your football games.
Look, you mentioned earlier that although Stoke haven't been on a great run, of course they did manage to get the win against Sunderland. They beat them 2-1 at the weekend, and they've got a number of players back from injury now. So defensively, how do we ensure we don't concede first?
Well,
or at all?
Well, I'd love a clean sheet. As an ex-defender, everything's about clean sheets. I think I think when you start badly and you concede early, it's difficult to get going again. But I think because of the group, the way we play now, it could be about like that for all season until the manager gets a few things sorted in the defensive area. And when he's got his settled back four, I still don't think we've got the settled back four personally.
Why?
Know. Well, obviously Archie's having to play right back. If you asked him, I don't know Archie that well, but I'm sure he'll play there because he loves playing for Leeds United. He loves just playing football.
And what have you made of him?
I think he's been outstanding. Yeah. I think he's been outstanding. At times in the first part of the Norwich game, he did get found out a little bit by his positional sense because he's learning to be a fullback at times, and he's not used to it. And you know, people who have played there themselves will know if you're a midfield player, you're asked to play fullback. you're kind of filling in. But he's done an unbelievable job for the age he's played, the age he is, and he's playing well above his. You know, in my opinion, for his age, he looks like he's been doing it for years and years.
We just need to keep hold of him.
We have to keep hold of players like him, and like you say, the improvement's been coming for him. But I think it just shows the character of him being happy to play it right back.
Because like you say, it's a totally different set of skills, isn't it?
It is, and you've got to defend. Well, he's a good defender anyway. He reads the game very well, but defensively he's going to have to win his battles like he did. I remember the home game recently. He won all his first game when he played right back. He won all his battles, and again it'll be important tonight that he wins all his battles in the first part of the game, and he'll grow into the game. But it's also all about how you start and who you're up against. And again, it's personal battles. I always said it. Who wins the most personal battles on the football pitch usually wins. And that was the way we had it when I was at Leeds with all the players. Before we went out, go out, win your personal battles. With the quality we have within our group, we'll win. And that's what I think about Leeds. If we win our personal battles everywhere with the quality we have, we can beat any team.
Look, Dom, I'd like to look at the Championship as a whole just for a moment. Obviously, we've seen Leicester have been on an incredible run of form pretty much from the beginning of the season. But we have, and I don't want to jinx it, stormed our way up the table. Is it too early to almost look towards the end of the season and think about where we could be?
Well, you've got to have a bit of confidence, but you've got to be able to back that up. And at the moment we are. 3 straight wins. So we are backing it up, but I think it's not being complacent at any point, and I don't think the manager will let the lads be complacent. And if anyone wants to be complacent, they'll be out of the team. That's how I think he works, and that's how, if I was the manager, that's exactly what I'd be doing. But no, I think it's just keeping things very balanced, and obviously we're third at the minute. If we win tonight, obviously we know Ipswich are a decent side, but I think looking at Ipswich and us, I think that we're the ones we could get second.
Ooh.
Because, you know, I'm not saying Leicester are going to win it, but the way it looks on paper at the minute, they're well clear, aren't they? And they've got a really good squad. So for us, if we don't win it, then we make sure we get second. You've got to have an aim, you've got to have a goal, you've got to be thinking about that. If you're not, you know, people say don't get too far ahead of yourself, but you've got to be, you know, you want to go out there and make a difference and try and get back into the Premier League.
You absolutely do. That's the goal, isn't it? Right. Score prediction.
I'm going to go 3-1, Leeds United.
Don Matteo is saying 3-1. Let's find out, shall we? It is time to head over to Stoke and join our commentary team, Bryn Law and Tony Dorigo. But before that, let's get the thoughts of Jorginho Rutter.
Jorginho, what's the mood in the group like ahead of this game tonight?
For this week was a good atmosphere on the training. We showed the quality like the last game before. We come back for 2-0 and after 3-2, and I think today you have to continue for the confidence and stay maybe at the top on the table.
You play a lot of games in this league, don't you, very quickly?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy that bit?
Yeah, I enjoy, of course, because I like to play football, you know, it's my job, you know, so I can't be angry if I play, so now I'm very happy to play, yeah.
Has anyone talked to you in the group about this stadium, Stoke, and how people say it's hard to play here at night, it's cold and all those sorts of things?
I hear this, the cold, the wind, so I don't know, I have to see today. But we have a lot of quality on this group, so I think we can do something today special like the last game, and we are Leeds, so everything is like possible, you know.
Well, welcome to Stoke City. We are at the Bet365 Stadium where we have been treated, and I think that's the right word, to a pretty extravagant opening ceremony here. They do it every game with a spectacular light show. So spectacular they have to warn people about it before it actually happens. But now the lighting is a little more conventional. The floodlights are on here, and we have the proverbial cold midweek evening in Stoke as a little additional element to the challenge. as far as Leeds United are concerned. Leeds in the blue strip, the peacock kit. Stoke City, as you would anticipate, in their red and white stripes. Stoke have gone away to our left, and Leeds United at the end, behind which the travelling army of Leeds United fans sits, well, actually stands. But I have to tell you, there are Leeds fans all around the ground, and I've had conversations with several in our vicinity as we sit high up in the main stand. So Leeds fans, as ever,